Please pick the two housemates you have decided to use your supreme veto power to say now.
Okay. Daniela and Fina.
Please confirm your nominations.
Daniela and Fina, Big Brother.
So yeah, last night's head of house game was pretty interesting, and I think I'm quite comfortable with the head of house, the person who won the head of house. Yeah, comfortable, not exactly excited, but comfortable, okay? And yeah, it was Chi who won the head of house games. Now, unlike previous head of house games since this season that always had 2 stages, this one had just 1 stage with everybody participating, of course, except the incumbent head of house, Fina. Yeah, okay. And then there were a lot of aftermath after the head of house games. We saw trouble in some camps today. From last night to early hours of this morning, there was little trouble in some camps, and 1 or 2 things happened. But before I delve into all of that, I am Bethy, and this is the Big Brother Naija show here on THAV TV, where I keep you updated on everything happening in this season of the Big Brother Naija. That is the level ups. Let's get straight into it. So, the head of house game to last night was Seesaw Bim. So this game was, we know what Seesaw is, right? It's like a ride that kids, play with in the park, where it has to do with your weight. So one person puts weight on one side of the seesaw and it lifts up the other side, and vice versa. So this Seesaw Bim was, it had 2 points, obviously, and one end was a tray shaped in the eye of the Big Brother Naija logo, and the other end had a ball filled with 5 balls. Now, the aim of the game was for each participant to start from point A, which had the ball with the balls in it, and move on the Seesaw Bim. Now, of course, as you hear seesaw, whilst you're moving from one point to the other, the seesaw is also, of course, lifting. So you're to move from that point with 1 ball and put the ball in the tray. Now, this is a tray, so it is not very deep. So when the person, moves and transfers weight to the other end of the seesaw, there is every tendency that the balls in the tray are gonna fall out. So yeah, it was quite tricky. And they were given 15 minutes. And at first I was thinking, 50 minutes is a lot of time. But by the time we started playing the game, I could tell that, okay, 15 minutes is just it. You can say that 15 minutes was just perfect, okay? So the game was quite tricky and very frustrating, because you can see people they've successfully gotten 3 balls in the tray, and then they're on their way to the end, and then once they calm down, everything just goes out again. So it was really frustrating. And whilst what's her name, Chi was playing, she was just all screaming and shouting every little thing, like, oh my god, God please help me. And it was funny. But funny enough, after all her praying, God please help me and everything, she emerged the winner. Yes, she was able to successfully carry 5 balls from the beginning of the Seesaw Bim to the tray and get off it before the timer went off. Yes, she did it with her weight, with her weight. She did it. And it was great. She was the only one who was able to successfully carry 5 balls at the end of the timer. And of course, Big Brother had said that before, if by the end of the timer, nobody was able to successfully carry 5 balls, that the person with the most balls would be the winner. And if there were more than one person with the same number of balls, they would have to battle for the head of house title. So yeah, but at the end of the day, it was just Chi who finished, and yeah, Daniela emerged the tail of house. Now, how did that happen? You might be wondering, because hey, this is Daniela we're talking about, but it was kind of just a mistake that she made. She just kind of lost it. According to her, she said that once the timer went off, she had 2 balls in the tray, but once the timer went off, she just literally jumped off the Seesaw Bim. Of course, that made the balls to go out of the bim, and she ended up having no balls in her tray, and she ended up being the tail of house. So yes, that was it. Now, after the whole tail of house and head of house game, yeah, it was supposed to follow with the nomination for eviction, but this time around it was different. And Big Brother, okay, yeah, I didn't mention that the head of house title came with extra perks, which gave the head of house, Chi-Chi, a supreme veto power where she was able to save two persons of her choice, and also she and those two persons would be granted a slot in the finale, which is like next week. Like, they are not going anywhere, they're not up for eviction, they're saved. And of course, she was to choose her companion, and guess who she chose? She chose Cheesy. Yeah. And I think that was more a strategic decision than an emotional decision, because from what she was saying later on, I think that she was just being strategic with her choice, because hey, who exactly was she going to choose? Sheggz, what's his name again? Groovy, or Ryan, or Adekunle? Come on, she didn't really have much choice, much to choose from. So yeah, she chose Cheesy. And after the head of house games, Big Brother had told the housemates that they were going to have 20 minutes to decide, because they all have to go pitch themselves to Chi-Chi. Now, they were all pitching themselves to help her decide whom she's going to choose, to save with her veto power. So yeah, they were given 20 minutes to think, although that 20 minutes was a lot longer than 20 minutes. And I was like, yo, Big Brother, what's up? What's happening? Why are you taking so long? But anyway, at the end of the 20 minutes in Big Brother's own timer, he told them the order in which they were going to present themselves before the head of house, Chi-Chi. Yeah. And I don't think I can exactly remember exactly how it went, but I think the first was Groovy, then Cheesy, then Sheggz, then I think Adekunle, O'Brien, I don't know, and then Rachel, then Fina, then, then the rest of the house. I can't remember exactly the order it went, but hey, bottom line is that they were given an order and they were to follow it. So yeah, the first person to pitch was, like I already said, Groovy. And for me, I think he gave a good enough pitch. And if that was actually a job, he was going to get it. Or he was going to at least be chosen amongst the few to advance to whatever stage, because I think it was a fair pitch. He was, he really pitched. And the pitches I was particularly looking forward to were Rachel, Bella, and Sheggz, because that these three people have been having issues back to back with Chi-Chi. And just imagine that Chomzy and the Swags were still in the house. In fact, especially Chomzy. She would have rather choked than actually go and pitch herself to Chi-Chi. But Rachel, okay, yeah, who was first? Shegg's speech was annoying, which is not surprising. It's Sheggz. Sheggz is annoying without even trying. Like, he's effortlessly annoying. And he went in there and was like, okay, so Chi-Chi, yeah, I'm real, yeah? We're the realest. I'm real to you. Our friendship is real. I fuck with you 100. And I'm like, dude, no. We all know that you do not whatsoever fuck with Chi-Chi 100. Yes, we all know that you don't like her. We know that you're just trying to play nice. Like, according to him, I was like, yo, I've been saying this, that if it's not myself or Bella that's gonna win, I'm rooting for you. Yo, yeah, I fuck with you 100. I'm real. I'm like, oh God, dude, just get out of my face. Like, get out, because you're really frustrating me. And yeah, after a lot of and basically an annoying accent, he finally left it. He was even literally waiting for the timer to go off, because he was like, okay, this is too long. He didn't have much to say. He knows that she's already made up her mind. And then there was Bella. Bella's speech was just, she didn't know what to say, and she did not want to have to be in that position where she was needing to pitch to Chi-Chi. I'm pretty sure that those moments, that one, okay, yeah, I didn't mention that they were given 90 seconds each to pitch, and that is approximately like 1 hour, 1 minute, 30 seconds. Now, I'm pretty sure that 1 minute, 30 seconds must have been like the most frustrating and annoying 1 minute of her life, because she could barely figure out anything to say. She wasn't even willing to try. She was just saying that if Chi-Chi chose her, she'll be shocked and surprised that Chi-Chi chose her, Yeah, and that was her own idea of a pitch. And anyway, Chi-Chi listened to her and smiled when necessary. And then there was Rachel. Now, Rachel, I don't know if what she did was because she knew she's a writer, and to her, it's like, there's no need for me to even try to make Chi-Chi consider me, because, hey, we know that they had some sort of friendship before, even though, what's her name, Rachel said that they were just together at that point because they were fighting for the same cause, not necessarily like they built a clique or a friendship. Anyway, that was what Rachel said. So Rachel went in there and was like, okay, I don't even think she was like, what's up? And I don't even think I'm going to bother pitching, And she was like, we're just going to gist with this 1 minute, 30 seconds. Let's just gist. And then she went on to tell Chichi that Chichi should try to own up to her shit every once in a while. And Chichi, of course, that pissed Chichi off. And she was like, what do you mean by that? Like, own up how? And then she was like, she's not trying to, she's just saying what she wants to say, that, they're cool. They don't have any problem. She feels that they're cool. And she likes her hair and she likes her jeans. And she was like, thank you. It was just awkward. It was very awkward to watch. Anyway, those 3 pitches were, and then there was Fina. Fina, of course, came in there with confidence, knowing that, hey, is Chichi crazy not to save me? I mean, if not for anything, for the fact that Fina had saved her using her veto power to replace Alison, or to replace Chichi with Alison, and saved her. So, I mean, she owed her that one, even if that was not an emotional decision. And then there was Daniela's speech was rather touching. It was touching, and I felt it because she was like, okay, she never really saw herself coming to this point, and that the fact that she's here, she'd love to, advance it next week. She'd love for her family to see her on the stage and all of that. And it was quite touching. She said a lot of things to that. I cannot remember. Yeah, it was quite touching. And finally, at the end of the whole pitching, Chichi was invited to the diary room by Big Brother, and he told her to come and tell him who she was gonna save with her supreme veto power. And yeah, of course, we saw Fina coming. Hello, we all saw that she was gonna save Fina. Like, is she playing? Why would she not save Fina? Okay, and then the second person she saved was Daniela. Yeah, it was not too surprising because, like I said, Daniela's speech was quite emotional, and I think at least she and Chichi have a cordial relationship. And during the whole gang-up that Chichi had with most of the housemates, including Fina, I think Daniela had comforted her. So, yeah. So she chose Daniela. And that basically was how the whole head of house thingy went yesterday. Then, the aftermath of everything, because what's her name? Daniela had been feeling down that she got the tail of house, and to her, she was like, how could she be so dumb to jump off the beam and then make all the balls to fly out, that she wasn't even thinking. She was really beating herself up. Like, we have seen that is a thing that Daniela does a lot. She beats herself up a lot. Like, she's not very kind to herself when she makes mistakes. So yeah, she was really down and she was not in a very good mood, and she had gone to sit on the chair in the lounge alone, and even Rachel had come to talk to her and try to bring her out of her mood. And then she was just, there. Even Hermes, they had literally had to have an intervention trying to give her a pep talk and make her feel better. Now, I, for one, did not see any time where Sheggz had gone to excessively comfort her, but I did know that she was in a bad mood. So, but hey, later on tonight, we saw Mrs. Bella giving it to Sheggz, complaining that he had been too close with Daniela, like he had been excessively comforting to her, and he was, taking it too far, and she was upset. She was literally angry and really upset that Sheggz had, been that way with Daniela, and she was saying a lot of things, and all of that, they just went back and forth. Now, the difference with this altercation between the two parties, that is Bella and Sheggz, was that Sheggz was a little bit more calmer than he would have been on a normal day. I mean, we know that Sheggz's tongue is coated with insults, and he would have been giving it to Bella back to back. But we've noticed that ever since Ebuka gave them, that little taste of what the viewers are thinking of them, that was during the last Sunday eviction, the previous one, he has been trying to redefine their relationship. And maybe that was just why he had been a little bit more enduring and, quiet and all of that, not really giving it back to Bella the way he would have. But of course, as usual, after their back and forth in their arguments, they did kiss and make up. Hello, it's Bella and Sheggz. Why would they not kiss and make up? But anyway, moving on to Chumsy and the evicted housemate. So yeah, of course, as usual, after a housemate is evicted, they are given the opportunity to respond to negative comments made about them. Now, I cannot remember exactly the comments that were made about Chumsy, but I think in 1 or 2 comments she was called bitter, and of course she was expected to she was expected to respond to those comments. Now, if there's one thing I've noticed, I don't think Chumsy really knows how to hide her emotions, because it was literally all over her face that she was trying not to cry while she was reading those negative comments. It was obvious. Her face was almost turning red. She was like, her face was contorted. She could barely control it. She could barely manage her emotions. And it was just like, aw, it's so sad. And she didn't even have any, most housemates try to make it into a laugh, try to tease people, but she couldn't even really hide her emotions and make it look as though she's not affected. It was very obvious that she was affected by the comments, and it's just sad. Maybe that's why she was the way she was in the house. Maybe she's just someone who is very emotional and does not know how to control her emotions very well. Anyway, Elo Swags and Dodi, they tried with their responses. It wasn't too it was just there. It was nice. Yeah, so that was it with their whole responses and everything. But now moving back to the house with this is like the week before the final week, and we still have about 11 housemates in the house. That is still a lot. Of course, besides the writers, we have 9, but still, that's a lot. I mean, I'm wondering what's Biggie's plan. I mean, that means Sunday's evictions are it's going to be really massive, and a whole lot of people are going to leave, because we're imagining, or we're just trying to think that it's going to be 5 persons left for the finale. And of course, with Chichi, Daniela, and Fina already saved, that leaves just a slot for 2 people. And it's almost a surety that Hermes is going to be one of those 2 people. So what's going to happen? It's left with just 1 slot for how many persons to battle. And for me, I think that the strongest of all the people left after Hermes is Groovy and Brian. But I'm not quite sure if Adekunle is as strong as Groovy or Brian, because he hasn't really been up as much as they have. So I don't know. I think it's more going to be between Groovy and Brian. And I think I'm comfortable with whomever comes to be the 5th person from those 2. But hey, if it's 6 and the both of them make it, sure, why not? It'll be so great to see that all the remaining level 2 or previous level 2 housemates make it to the finals. That is, of course, besides Cheesy, who is a rider, so hey, no hard feelings. But I don't know. I really don't know. Of course, I'm still putting my money on Fina. Of course, not literally, because I'm not betting. But I'm just saying that I'm rooting for Fina, and I feel like she is going to win it. But we're just going to have to wait and see, right? And I mean, it's less than 2 weeks left. We would know who the winner is by then, and I would be so glad to say, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. So yeah, let's just keep watching and see what's going on. And whenever anything else happens, of course, I'm going to be here to tell you. So yeah, that is all for today. And you know what? Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, leave comments, yes, because I really need to know what you think, especially with all that's going on with the number of housemates in the house. Who do you think is going to be leaving by this weekend, and who are you putting your money on for the win? And until I come your way again, I am Bethy, and this is the Big Brother Naija show here on Thav TV. Enjoy the rest of your day.